Hey guys, welcome back to Kuma Style. It's been a while. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been playing Black Myth Wukong, and that's pretty much taken up all of my free time outside of work, family, fitness, all of that stuff. So my house time has been playing that game. I'm not doing New Game Plus. I got the true ending and all that. If you played it, you know it's a very immersive, addicting game, and it's just what it is. I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I took a break from this because it actually feels good and a lot less robotic to get back into this stuff now. But anyway, we're taking a look at Sentinel, their Riobot line, DyGenGuar. DyGenGuar from Super Robot Wars OG. So that's short for Dynamic General Guardian. And here he is. Huge, absolutely huge. The representation of this character is just awesome, head to toe. So this is a very erect pose, no ab crunch or anything like that. So honest height here, I'm just going to the top of the crest. I've got about 10 1/4 inches tall. To the top of the shoulders, though, those pauldrons there, it looks like 12 1/2 inches. And that's from that point of view. I'll have something more exact on the written review on kumastyle.com when that comes. So, all right, here's the figure. We'll go ahead, roundabout, articulation, hit some poses and all of that stuff. But, again, 10 1/4 inches. Head to the top of this crest here. Let's take a look at the accessories that come. All right, so starting off over to the left side here, same blade, two different variants. If you're familiar with the games or the cartoon, the sword does a lot of mass shifting. That's what it's called. Changing sizes and stuff like that. So two variants of that blade. If you got the D4 Toys exclusive version, it comes with another larger but curved version of the blade as well. Of course, the instructions over there. All right. Let's take a look at the stand here. Huge base, generic Sentinel base, but this, the stand itself, is a lot different, more akin to the metal build style, and it's nice. This tip is actually die-cast. I've never seen that on one of these styles of stands. So, got the base for the figure itself. He does a rocket punch type thing, where his arms come off and can shoot, so those are holsters for that. And these are all cups for the different variants of the sword. All right, and you see alternate faces here. So I should have put them 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, but basically it comes with 6 total faces, including the one on him, and he has LEDs. So you'll notice some have darker eyes. Those are ones for when the LEDs are turned on, and then the other ones are for when they aren't. But the cool thing is the lights shine through either of them. The dark ones are just brighter. The lights are activated by a magnet. This is the magnet that it comes with. Pretty cool looking. And then these are just additional. You can use those for the rocket punches and stuff like that. And this is the more traditional stand that you can use for the figure itself. All right. One more look at the accessories. I'm not going to go over every single face, I don't believe. So take a look at them now. But we'll go over how to change them out. All right, zoom out a little bit. Those shoulders are pretty high. All right. You guys are roundabout. Now, he does have the thrusters on the back. Okay. Flipping those guys up. And it's really cool. They didn't go overboard with like detailing, greebling, anything like that. It looks like the cartoon just jumped onto your table shelf wherever you store your figures. So yeah. All right. Quick breakdown of the articulation. Highly articulated figure, but what's really cool about this one, tons of ratchet joints and stuff like that. So this is a bigger figure, but very sturdy. And the joints, the internals, are die-cast. I'm not feeling die-cast on the outside of the figure. There is some like on the feet, but in terms of the outer shell of the figure, mostly plastic. But you can see a lot of the alloy and stuff like that on the joint parts that you can see. So head, side tilt, forward, not a lot of back. There's an additional joint on the front of the neck, and I love it. because they know people that are into this type of mech anime and stuff like that, like their hip thrust, like their ab crunch and stuff like that. So it gives them the ability to look further down when you do that kind of posing and that kind of stancing. All right, very dynamic. So the shoulders, they do butterfly. And when you do this, per the instructions, you want to grip it by the front and the back of the chest. So they are pretty tight, and that's good. Because even if they loosen over time, they'll still be good. That's how it's supposed to be. So forward, back. All right, the shoulder pads themselves can go up and down. These pieces move in and out pretty far, but I'd watch them. They're not the thickest pieces. They are plastic, so just be aware. All right, so putting these up, you can hear the ratchets there. All right. And there's shoulder movements in this piece itself. So it's ratchet in there, and then at the shoulder. Okay, bring that down. All right. So it doesn't do a full 90 degrees right there, but you can bring this up as well to help it out. Okay. Now in terms of shoulder rotation, I just pop the hand off. Okay. Elbow. Single elbow, but goes well past that 90 degrees, which is really cool. This piece here can move in and out. I keep wanting to push that in. Do I not have it pushed all the way in? All right, there we go. Okay. There's that. Bicep swivel. It does 360, but hitting the shoulder or the hip pads there. Okay. Now we're going to zoom in to the wrist area. The wrists do rotate. Mine, very tight at first, and I've noticed a couple of times playing with it, they're still kind of tight. So if you have problems rotating the wrist, what I've done to loosen them up is actually bring them in some and then back. But once you bring it in, it's normally pretty good. But from there, you can rotate it. All right. And then the gauntlets, they do move independently as well. Okay. Now the hands, all right. These are the best hands that Sentinel's ever done in terms of articulation. All right, so I'll just show you because they're already in a fist. Is it best if I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about this to show you the inside or the outside? So probably inside works best so you can see everything. All right. So what's cool about the thumb is that, yeah, you have the thumb joints, the ball joint, and then that joint there. But then the base of the thumb. Jesus, I am not doing great with this hand right now. But I'm not going to edit it out because you guys need to see that that can happen. Learn from my mistakes. All right? There's that. There's that. And another quick edit because I realized I popped one of the fingers out. All right. So glad I caught that. I got cats, man. Never find that thing again. So, okay. So, the ball joint at the base of each one. And it's really cool because it gives the fingers spread. So, ball joint, and then this joint, and this joint. And that's for each finger. And this is pretty impossible to do without my hand covering the camera. So there's that. All right, now moving our way down the body. Talked about that ab crunch there. Definitely has it. So that's as far back as he goes. The farthest back he goes is pretty much straight up. All right, but 2 clicks. There we go. Now let's see. A couple of clicks to each side as well. That's pretty cool to get that lean. And it's all that upper chest pendulum. He does have waist movement. I believe it 360s, but I'm not going to stress it and work around these hip pieces because the instructions labeled them as fairly sensitive, so I'm not trying to do anything that interferes with those. All right, this is a big and sturdy piece, but frankly, this stuff ain't cheap. So as much as I'd like to be a crash test dummy for you guys, I don't want my money to be a crash test dummy for you guys. So yeah, so moving around the hip skirts. So these flip up, right? The fronts of them, and then they have some movement here in the back. Not a lot. Well, yeah, that flipped out farther. Okay. And it's cool because now we can see the joints. All right. So he does not have drop hips, but the hips are on kind of an L deal here. So when it comes to the swing, it automatically swings downward. Okay. You hear those nice ratchets. What's really cool is that the ratchets, the spokes or whatever, pretty close together. So even though it's ratcheting, you're not getting big gaps where you feel like you're limited on articulation because of it. It's cool. It's the way it should be done. I've said this for years. All right. Now looking at the, well, hip rotation. It's kind of cool that even the hip rotating ratchets. Okay. No 360 just because of the way the hips are shaped. Or the thighs are shaped versus the hip. Okay. Now, okay, double jointed knees, lots of ratcheting. It does have a piston that moves in there, so that's pretty cool too. Okay. And now looking at the feet, per the instructions, and I'm making sure I've still got the foot on camera, they don't want you touching the front of the foot, longer, thinner, not a lot of support. You've got this metal bar in between there, so they want you basically working with the back of the foot if you have to touch the foot. Okay, this part, that cover does come up, so you've got some movement upwards. There we go. Not a lot of downwards without messing with this piston in the back, but when it comes to the ankle tilt, pretty cool in my opinion. So yeah, of course we'll have him post up, weapons, do some cool stuff here. But to get him into basically a bit more of a Obari type heroic pose. I can't even call it Obari anymore. It's so just, everyone does it. In terms of anime, even Dragon Ball characters and stuff like that, you see them pose more so like that nowadays. And I would say I'm keeping that pretty tame. Voila. Freaking beautiful, man. All right, let's get into some of the gimmicks, the accessories, and stuff like that next. All right, now we get to take a look at the LED gimmicks, and I'm going to use it as a segue to show you guys how to change out the faces. We're not going to look at every single face. So basically what he has is 3 face variations, and with those, I guess it's a total of 6 faces, 3 expressions, but they're doubled. So one version of each face will have the colored eyes like you see here. They're yellow. But then there will be an alternate one of each with clear eyes. I just gotta find that in my little stack here. And it's not much different. They're clear, but they're a clear orange, so it doesn't look too crazy off. They're not dead eyes or anything like that. So to change out the faces, the head pulls straight up. Make sure kind of brace the face too so it doesn't fly out. On the bottom, you're going to see that cross, but then this pulls right out. You're going to see another divot there. From there, slide the new face in, and then just slide it back on. So pretty straightforward stuff. And they are darker than the painted eyes, but again, not dead or anything like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the LEDs themselves. To activate those, little magnet piece here. Now the instructions say go in here. I've found that that area on the chest that I just hit right there is best for business, and then on each shoulder it's kind of right outside of the circle on the pauldron. So there we go, and there we go. All right, so this one doesn't have multiple settings for the LEDs. I know some figures you press them multiple times, they go through like kind of a fading in and out, this and that. No. So turn it off. See if I can hit the spot. Turn it off. Okay. Now we'll turn it back on. 1, 2. Underneath. And these are actually really bright lights. This is my first time actually checking out the lights with the clear-eyed face on them. And that's spectacular. Okay. All right, Sentinel. I see you. Yeah, and there are the LEDs. Turn them off again. Boom. Switch hands. Boom. And boom. Okay. And that's how you change out the faces. I'll have like a side-by-side picture with all of the faces next to each other on the gallery on kumastyle.com. So no worries there, but just for the sake of the video, don't want to extend it out too much. All right. And now we'll go ahead and look over how to attach either of the sword variations. So it comes with adapters for both holding it straight as well as at an angle. All right. Get that thumb pop back into place. There's that. Okay. And the way that you do it, there are cups on each side. That's not anything that's crazy, but they have the little pegs there. And it's kind of dark, but I'm gonna work with what I got. And boom. All right. Now you can cup his fingers around it. And you know what? I think I actually just made a miscalculation. Because it comes with a total of 6 of them, and they're for each hand. I was wondering why that was so low and didn't go over that finger, because I had the wrong one attached. So what I'm going to do here, attach the proper one. Nope, I was right the first time. Okay, cool. All right, so there's that. And from there, what you do Slide the blade inside. And same difference for the larger blade. Plug in the adapter, slide the sword through, and boom. Alright, just so you guys can get a feel for how big this sword is, it's insane. Like, that's absolutely nuts. In the beginning of this review, we also talked about the fact that he does have a rocket punch and adapters for that. So let's go ahead and leave it at the elbow. It comes off. See if we can go ahead and make that happen. Okay, now I had to find my spudger. So there's this little flap here. Get something in between. I have fingernails and it's still kind of hard, but it actually locks the arm into place, which is cool. And from there, we should be able to just pull this guy out. Make sure that's up. And yeah. Alright, there you go. And then from there, just use these adapter pieces. Okay? And now we'll start putting it all together. Alright, so tail end of this review, this is where we start putting everything together. We are using the base. We've got the 2 stands. We already put the adapters on the forearms there. We changed out his face to a screaming face, but it's also the one with the clear eyes so that you can see the LEDs through. Got the LEDs on the shoulders activated as well. So yeah, multiple parts at use here and rocket punching. It's actually pretty cool. I think after I shoot this clip, I'm going to take a picture of it for my gallery. But yeah, I dig it. It's a nice little feature. Alright, and something more Obari inspired. Got him double clasping, utilizing that butterfly joint, same face, LEDs activated, big sword. I'm only using one of the, I guess the clasps for the sword. He holds it plenty fine in one hand, and that gives me a lot more flexibility with the second hand to maneuver the fingers around and stuff like that to get a better grip and not have to worry about the sword angle as much and whatnot. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Bring it up a little bit here. Then bring the focus out. To the tip of the sword, darken that up a little bit so you guys can actually see it. Then give you one more of the figure itself. Good times. Alright, and here we go. Utilizing the larger base, the stand, of course the adapter, which goes under its taint area, just plugs right in. Smaller sword, LEDs on. Yeah, coming at you. It's just, this is such an insanely exquisite figure, man. This is one of Sentinel's best. It's really cool. Alright, and here we got a side by side with the Bandai Soul of Chigoken DyGenGuar. Obvious size discrepancy here. So top of the crest, I've got about 6 3/4. Again, we're looking at about 10 1/4. So 4-inch height difference. And honestly though, I will say the side by side, yeah, this one's bigger, but at the same time, and not for nothing, this is the renewal version. But Bandai did a spectacular job with this figure. Actually, a lot of the engineering behind this one, the Bandai one has. If you look, things like ab crunch, even rocket punch, it's full of ratchets and the like. It's a fantastic figure in its own right. And this one does have Austin Cider as well. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a side-by-side. Because I think this is the popular DyGenGuar up until this one, or has been. So, yeah. And I believe Kotobukaya also has a really nice model kit of it, but it's not one that I own. Alright guys, I'm finishing this off. I just wanted to have him next to some more Sentinel Super Robot Wars products. So we got SRX, Fire Dagwan. I need Power Dagwan. I'm going to find it one day for a decent price. Compatible Kaiser, Eildeboth, Altizen, and of course, the one we've been reviewing this whole time, DyGenGuar. They're killing it. Not a single piece on here is, well, SRX kind of It kind of sucks, not gonna lie. But the rest of them, not gonna count him. He looks pretty, but it's a mess. The rest of them, absolutely solid pieces, absolutely beautiful, engineering on point, die cast on point, paint on point. They're giving this series a lot more love than it's seen in a long time. I guess on a high level, because now there's this big boom, right? So we got Sentinel putting out Ace products, CCS Toys. They're starting to get into the thick of it. I wouldn't be surprised if like Mosho starts doing Super Robot Wars OG stuff here pretty soon too. So it's a good era for fans of literal, not Super Robots, but Super Robot Wars specifically. But yeah, this Sentinel stuff, this has been a review for DyGenGuar. It's awesome, highly recommended. Big, quality, engineering on point, solid, paint's good, looks good, amazing. And I'm out. You know, I don't really do reviews as much, but when I do stuff that I want to do. Hopefully you guys like this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.